Welcome back to the vlog, you guys. We got a little bit of a late start this morning. It's already 11:15 a.m. Oh god, I really don't like starting my day this late, but I recorded another YouTube video this morning, which is gonna come out way before this video. What we're gonna do today is we have to go and pick up an exhaust manifold gasket from my friend Derek. He left it underneath his doormat for me because he had to go to work, and I gotta replace my exhaust manifold gasket before I have an event this weekend. So if you guys remember from my birthday track day, I wasn't able to drive the race car because my exhaust manifold gasket was blown. I think we blew it up on the dyno, so unfortunately I had a huge exhaust leak before the turbo, which just caused the car to perform like crap. It was literally so bad. I didn't even drive it for the rest of the day, and because of the exhaust manifold gasket leak, I literally almost caught my car on fire. My exhaust manifold gasket was blown closer to the front of the ignition coil covers, closer to the valve covers, and all of the exhaust gases and all of the heat were literally pouring out from right there, going straight towards my ignition coil cover, and it unfortunately melted the alternator wire underneath my ignition coil cover, and everything was smoking. So I decided not to drive my car for the rest of the day, but I think that if I can replace this gasket before this weekend, today's Thursday, my event is on Saturday, so if I can replace this gasket today, I should be good to go. So my goal today is to replace the exhaust manifold gasket, drive the car up and down the street a couple times because it still has tags. And then that's pretty much it. And then I really just need to load the car up on the trailer tomorrow night. I don't have the truck right now, so I'll save that for another day, but I really need to go and get this exhaust manifold gasket, and it is free for me to make a U-turn, so I'm going to do that really quick before I can't. Living in the city is definitely interesting, but I'm gonna put on my seatbelt and I'm gonna start driving, and then it's gonna be a great time. Safety third, kids. All right, we're here. It's fancy. Alright, you guys, part one of the mission is accomplished. Here is my new exhaust manifold gasket. Now, it's not that I wasn't able to source an exhaust manifold gasket. That is not the reason that I had to harass my friends to give me one of theirs. The reason that I had to harass Derek to give me one of his exhaust manifold gaskets is because with the whole pandemic and everything happening right now, I was able to source an exhaust manifold gasket, but not fast enough. I need one by this weekend. Today's Thursday, my event is on Saturday, and my last event was on Sunday, so I wasn't able to get one in time with the shipping time, especially because the post office is so messed up right now. But thankfully I was able to get this exhaust manifold gasket from Derek. Huge shout out to Derek. Thank you so much for letting me steal your parts. This one is still in the plastic, and let me tell you guys, something that I noticed online is that all the exhaust manifold gaskets that I looked at are now two-piece, which is a little weird. I made sure that I got the correct exhaust manifold gaskets. This is for a 1JZ GTE, and it is for the exhaust side, so this isn't the incorrect gasket, but I'm wondering if maybe my exhaust manifold gasket was just like a cheap Chinese exhaust manifold gasket, because mine was a one-piece and it had like this kind of cork material in between these two pieces of metal, which I originally thought was really good, but apparently it's not because it blew. So hopefully this will last me a little bit longer. It feels like really good material. Like I can't even bend this just slightly, so I'm excited for this. Thank you again, Derek, for allowing me to steal your parts just to get my race car up and running. But I'm excited for that. So now we can go back to my dad's house, get the race car up and running properly, and hopefully not have any issues this weekend. So let's go and put this thing on the car. Have a good day. Oh my gosh, finally. Woo! We got some new tires mounted from Andy's. Thank you, Dad, for literally getting these tires mounted for me because I had zero time. Oh my gosh, it is way later in the day than I wished that it was. I just got off the phone with Dave. His transmission actually blew up on his way to work today, so he's gonna come by here, probably grab the demo car and drive that around for the week. But let me show you guys what happened when we were at Apple Valley Speedway. First of all, I am so glad that I know better than to wash my car before I go to Grange. Look at how disgusting this car is, and it hardly even got driven. And mind you, it was covered when we were driving into Grange by the car cover because I didn't want anybody to see the livery until I got there. But anyway, the exhaust manifold gasket is blown right about here. I know it's really difficult for you guys to see. So what was happening is basically all of the hot air from the exhaust manifold was kind of coming out in this direction. You could actually feel it pulsing a little bit when the car is running. So what happened was all of that hot air, even though this was all covered by an ignition coil cover, it literally melted part of my ignition coil cover, got through it, and started melting my alternator wire cable, which is literally right here. If you guys can see how thick this is, it melted through this to the point where I can see the copper inside the wire. So now I actually got a little bit lucky, because what made me pull off the track is because my battery terminal pops off, and I was like, huh, that's weird. My car just completely shut off, but it also smells like smoke a little bit. I wonder what that is. So I literally got out the car, popped my hood. I was like, oh, my battery terminal is popped off. And then I was like, why is it smoking from right there? That doesn't make any sense. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is literally about to catch on fire. This is not a good deal. So, thankfully, the battery terminal popped off. That's great. That's fantastic. I honestly can't believe that the exhaust manifold gasket did not blow while I was on the dyno, because that's when the car was being pushed its hardest. So it's a little bit hard to believe, but I'm glad that we caught it. And I decided just to not drive the car for the rest of the day. We actually did try to block the exhaust gases from coming out of the manifold right there. We literally stuck a Sawzall blade right between where the engine hook is, and we tighten that down with like a hose clamp basically, and we were gonna try to drive like that, but I was like, you know what, it's fine. I have the demo car. That's what the demo car is here for. Just gonna leave it so I don't potentially catch my car on fire, and so that I don't have to like check it every single lap. I just don't want to ruin this car. I literally just put it back together. So I'm gonna go ahead and spray my gaskets with this copper spray gasket that Derek recommended to me. Hopefully this works, and hopefully these are the correct gaskets. Honestly, like, what can't you use a flathead for? They are literally like the most universal tool. Update, I cannot figure out how to get this freaking fitting off. I've been struggling with this for a minute. I can't fit the wrench in here enough to be able to turn it, so I couldn't break that loose. So then I tried to literally just remove it from the actual engine, and I couldn't get that hose off. And then I tried to get the hose off of this push lock fitting right here, and I couldn't get this hose off. So I'm just gonna leave this like this. I'm literally just gonna leave it off to the side like this. I'm gonna have to figure out how to actually get this off in case if I ever need to service it trackside. I'm just gonna leave this the way that it is for now. I'm gonna take a break from this for a second, paint the other sides of these gaskets, and then I'll come back over here and start removing the exhaust manifold. Hello there.
Hi.
How's your day going?
My transmission took a
Yeah, that sucks.
the one
Did I steal one of the scooters? Dang, the whole crew's here. Just about ready to take off this exhaust manifold. Took me forever, but I finally got all the bolts off, so now all I gotta do is pull this off to put it literally right back on.
What's going on over here, kiddo?
Nothing, just trying
to get it out?
this off right now. I literally just started, I got it. It's all good. I'm just gonna leave it like that so I can just take this manifold off.
Oh yeah, that
Look
thing
at that.
blew out good.
That's literally all the way gone. Completely gone.
This one's about to go too.
Yeah, this side's about to go too. Alright guys, so this is what I was talking about in the car. If you can see, my gasket is a one-piece gasket, and then it's literally separated by like some cork, and then it's got another piece of metal. So I'm wondering if the 1JZ VVTi gaskets have been updated, or if this is just a really cheap Chinese gasket. I'm not entirely sure, but as you can see, my gasket is literally completely blown out. And this was towards the front of the engine, so that's why all of this wiring got melted right here. We did heat wrap it at the track, but I decided against driving it. But this gasket is, honestly, I thought this gasket was gonna be good. It feels like nice, like thick, heavy metal. Now we've got these 2-piece gaskets that I've coated with this copper spray that my friend Derek recommended to me, so hopefully this works. Honestly, I don't think that I like these gaskets as much as these gaskets, because these ones just seem thicker, and like they've got these little grooves in them right here, and then these ones are just like, I don't know, they're just like smooth and thin and 2-piece, and I just feel like this is bound to have a leak eventually, but this is all I could really get my hands on, so I guess we'll see if this works. Okay, honestly, not loving this gasket. I'm not a huge fan of them. As you can see, the exhaust port is much smaller than the actual gasket port for the exhaust manifold, and I'm really not sure, but this is kind of all I have left, and these are the only gaskets that I've seen online. It says manifold 1JZ GTE Toyota, and I know that these are VVTi gaskets for sure. They have to be VVTi gaskets, so I don't really know. Literally look at how much bigger those are than these. They're just like, this seems correct, that seems incorrect. Look at this one, right? And then look at the other one and tell me if
this
you see
exhaust
anything
manifold gasket is blown.
different. No, besides the fact that this one's blown and besides the fact that this one's a 1-piece, is there anything that you would be uncomfortable about with this new one that's on the car currently?
Well, the holes are farther away from the exhaust.
Mm-hmm. You mean they're bigger, or there's a gap in between the two gaskets?
Well, they're absolutely bigger.
Is that okay, or am I tripping? Because to me, it's supposed to seal it all the way, and you'd be able to get a crap ton of leaks like that.
Well, more than likely, this system is bigger because depending on your exhaust, if you had a bigger exhaust.
Yeah, but the whole ports would have to be bored out.
Yeah, they would have to be.
That to me just screams exhaust leaks. Am I wrong? You know more than I do, so I'm just asking because I'm personally not comfortable, but if you say it's fine, I guess it's fine because you know more than me, but I don't know. I just don't trust this. That doesn't make any sense to me. I would think that you want it to be sealed because it's a freaking gasket. I would think that it would want to be sealed completely and be like tight, you know, but like it's not.
As long as it's sealed, it's basically is going to get crushed in here no matter what.
But is that going to seal it? Because to me that's just as good as not running a gasket because it's got that little lip right before the exhaust port, but the freaking hole is ginormous.
But there's no spaces for it to leak. Basically, it's still around the housing where it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? It's not like the gasket is too big. It's going to get crushed. You know what I mean?
So even though this hole
even
is
though
way
that
bigger.
hole is way bigger than this port right here, it's eventually going to seal on this and seal on this.
All right.
So.
Oh my gosh, are you putting the exhaust manifold on so I don't like curse 30,000 times?
Yep. I just noticed that this stud is very loose. Do you see it?
Oh, whoa, that's a bunch of play.
Right. Look,
Wow, I can hear that, literally.
Turning it.
Wow.
That's how unscrewed this stud is.
That could have been a part of the problem. That's probably why it
So
blew
we should
from
put
that
a
area.
12-point wrench on all of these and make sure that all these studs are tight. Oh, look, here's another one right here.
What?
See this one? Hand tight. So this stud is loose too. So remember I said that this gasket was getting ready to blow in the back?
Yeah.
So you might have been tightened up all the way over here, but it might not have been tightened there. So we'll put a 12-point socket on each one of these, make sure they're all tight before we crank them in.
Alright, that should help.
By putting this on here. See it? And you snug them. There we go.
Isn't that exhaust manifold so fun to put on?
It's not a picnic. It's no fun.
Got it?
Well, I'll just put you this way. All the bolts are very tight.
So you suggested that I should probably have the bolts all tight and everything, drive the car, and then try to tighten them again.
Yeah.
So that they don't vibrate
That's right.
loose like they might have last time. We also figured out that some of these studs in here actually seem like they backed out a little bit. So that might have been a part of our problem as well, because as you guys saw, the exhaust manifold gasket was blown on this side. The bottom stud over here was
Finger tight.
really finger tight, and then the one back here in the back right corner right here was also super loose. So we tightened those up. My dad, thankfully enough, put the exhaust manifold back on for me, because I was at the point where I basically picked up a wrench off of the ground and just laid there for another like 10 minutes. So now all I have to do is put the turbo back on, put all the things back on the turbo, which should also be fun. Let me tell you guys, I was literally like, I'm going to do the downpipe first, and I'm going to put the turbo in the spot where it belongs on the V-band, and then I'm going to do the lines last. And I'm literally doing the lines first, then putting the turbo on the V-band, and then doing the downpipe last. So, shows how much I know. Alright you guys, it is getting late here. We finally got the exhaust manifold bolted back up. We got the turbo back on, downpipe back on. I'm so tired, literally so tired. Dave is currently trying to kill a bug for me. How's that going for you?
Right here.
Oh my god, I don't want to see it, I don't want to see it, I don't want to see it. Anyway, if you guys have made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. I'm going to run literally out of my garage before this bug comes and eats me in my sleep. So, it was great hanging out with you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you share this video.
Push it forward.
Before I die. I don't wanna.
Sorry, you just gotta push the car. You just gotta push
Why
the
do
car.
I have to push the car forward?
Because then you'll hear the... You wanna hear that?
You do it. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Okay, bye.